I knew you would be back. So, here's the deal. We will have lots of deep conversations that will take you to a place you didn't think you could go. We will push buttons you didn't even realize you had. But we will take it slowly and we will go progressively. That way we don't drop anyone. We take everyone along with us. It's a deep journey, nothing like you've ever experienced before. So there's no rush. We will ease into it. We have a community that we're building. See, Mindset Boulevard is not a means to an end. It's a way of life. It is driven by mores, ethos, values, principles, and scruples, not by interests. Of course, there were interests, but as you and I know, principles are immutable. Interests are not. When interests change, the connection, the bonds between people collapse. But when values, when you're steeped in a relationship that is driven by values, your differences strengthen the relationship. And why is that? If you and I share the same values, then if there's something you're doing that I don't understand, that I can't do, I get interested in it. I'm motivated, I'm inspired to want to be a part of what it is that you do. So it pushes me to want to know more, to want to be more, to want to show up more. And that is what these conversations are about. So join our community if you're interested. But we will always start with musical interludes. So how about this one? How's that? I'm sure you loved it, didn't you? There's a lot more where that came from. You just have to stay tuned. Trust the process. So, where were we? I promised we were going to be together for the next 3 days. Now, in my world, a day could be anything from 48 hours to 72 hours. It could even be a week. So don't be in any rush. I promise that in between interludes, I will share content, random content that is all related. We bring it all together at some point in due course. But the one thing that I can promise you is that as we journey along, at some point you'll get to connect with the deeper core of who you are. You will touch and tap into the riches of your vault, the vault that you carry inside, the infinite gold mine that is your mind. When we bring this to the surface and you connect with yourself, you will see the tapestry of your own journey. See, because you are the architect of your destiny. You will see that morph right before you. Neuroplasticity will happen. Epigenetics will kick in. And you will connect with your mojo. When that happens, life lives itself through you as you get out of the way. So, we talked about me coming to this place and headspace where emptiness was my core identity, and the void was the only experience I knew, because I'd come to the end of sensationalism. Nothing gratified me, nothing satisfied me if it didn't come from within me. And I had no control over that thing that came from within me. I'd feel it every once in a while. I'd get it, I'd grasp it, I'd touch it, I'd smell it, I'd taste it. But I just couldn't control it. I wasn't quite sure what it was. One thing I'll tell you though, there was this distinct thing in me. I knew that what I felt when I came alive had nothing to do with what was happening around me. There was no happenstance. There was no event. There was no story. There was no party. There was no achievement. There was no accolade. No one was patting me on the back. I'd just be in this place and feel a deep sense of fulfillment, contentment, inner joy and peace that I couldn't understand. Sometimes I had that sensation when the world around me was the topsy-turvy scenario, situation it was. I'll tell you some deep stories. I can promise you something different. You read books, you watch movies, you hear about extrasensory perception, you hear about the paranormal, you hear interesting stories. People tell you about them because they read about them and they share them. Concepts, principles, mores, ethos, values, immutable ways of being. Now, the one thing I will guarantee you is that everything I talk to you about, everything I share with you, is something that I lived and experienced. And yes, they go really deep. Research this word, infused discernment. Make of it what you will, but as we travel along and as my journey unfolds, you will realize that journey, although it gets presented to you through the filter of my experiences, you will connect with it in ways you couldn't even begin to fathom, because my journey is your journey. See, on a much higher level, at the level of spirit, you and I are one. At the level of the flesh, we separate ourselves based on our different abilities, capabilities, our gifts, and our talents. But as we start rising above the construct of our physicality, as we embrace our spirituality is thought minus all the turbulence. Thought and thinking minus all the static. But what is that? So we will get to meet, greet, and understand the different levels of thought and how these different levels of thought affect, impact, and affect our consciousness. I start by defining the concept of you and I as integrated circuits interconnected by our different levels of consciousness. That sounded very intergalactic, didn't it? That's my kind of language. And by the time we're done, you will be speaking that language as well. So you have to stay tuned.